the state of the nation with respect to the few subsidy bribery allegation making the rounds. You have heard the purported audio conversation between both parties. We have brought to you parts 1 and 2 so far, and subsequently, of course, just keep your eye on the ball. Well, Onyekachi Ubani joins us now. He's a legal practitioner and NBA chairman in KEYAMO branch. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, Chamberlain. Good morning.
Well, it's interesting the way they are playing out now. We've had conversations from almost a lot of people concerned on this matter. We'll get to see their tracks in a moment, but give us the overall perspective. From what you've seen, does it appear to you as though eventually, even though going around in circles, we're heading towards the right direction in terms of prosecution? Both parties, both matters now. This bribery allegation involving Farouk and Otedola, plus the few subsidy probe reports.
Well, you are heading to nowhere.
Nowhere?
You are heading to nowhere.
Why?
Because this is your procedure of trial by media, through the media. I don't think that is the proper thing. You said you have seen part 1 and part 2. I don't think you've seen part 1. What you've seen
in terms of the purported conversation.
Yeah, the conversation.
Not prosecution.
Yes, you've not seen the part 1. The time that $620, $1,000 was given, that is not within the conversation. Who initiated this issue of bribery in the first place? You've not seen that particular part.
No,
the part you saw is the one that has to do with the balance of $2.5 million. You need to see the part that has to do with $620,000. What was the reason in the first place to begin to argue that the name should be removed that was already there?
No, I get your point, but
yes.
With respect to the context I'm referring to, part
yes.
1 of the audio that
yes.
we have played.
That you guys have been given.
But
they've not given you better. Yes, I know. The ones that have been played, you call it part 1.
In that respect, yes. So maybe when that comes,
yes.
it will fall in line and it will get its part.
Yeah, we need to have.
It will be played.
We need to have a whole view of the entire scenario. Since they have started to make all of us judges in this matter. Because I think that the best thing that should have been done is for police to come up with a proper investigation, have all the material evidence, and then take Farouk Lawal to court. That is what I expect them to do. But this one, they're airing all the entire video, and they promise us the video itself to be shown on national television. Yeah. I don't know for what purpose. Is it to make us judges in this matter so that we now sit over the case and now probably make pronouncement whether this one is guilty or not? I don't think that is the proper thing. Our attention is being diverted. And I refuse to have my attention diverted in all this. A day after the panel report came out, I came to your television house here, I remember vividly, and I told you that nothing will come out of this report.
So I think we'll start with that second part of the purported audio conversation between both parties, because thereafter there were actions and reactions about that. So we'll take that first, and we'll continue after that.
It wasn't like my brother taking that one. Secondly, please, this thing that we are doing, keep it to yourself. Otherwise, you'll make it difficult for us.
Okay. I am now.
You will make it difficult because somebody called me now and said that we said we are going to address it. So, please keep it. Yeah, because if it is already out that we are going to do something, when we do it, people will think that we are doing it because we have compromised. And that is something that, and if my colleagues get to hear that, I will be able to convince them. So keep it to yourself.
Okay.
Let it not be like anybody is aware of what is happening.
Okay.
If anybody asks you, simply explain that this thing, from your records, you have all the records, and you have made a case to the committee. You have sent your records to the committee. Yeah, it's not for the committee. It's not for the committee to decide what to do. Please keep it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, because the moment it gets out, no, we are going to correct it. When it went, we have already. So let it be. I want to bring a surprise on the floor, and that is the only credible way.
God bless my brother. Okay, trying. Every time I hear
your sector is small. Everybody knows, and people are already saying. Somebody just called and said, what happened? They said Amy has gotten away around you guys, and he has already.
But let me also tell you.
No, I'm saying this. No, I'm saying it because this is what I had.
But my brother, let me also tell you one thing. You know me as
it doesn't have. It doesn't. I know. I don't think.
So people just get up. People is that.
Yeah, don't make it difficult. Just whoever, no, I didn't do this. I'm sure it must have been a mistake from the committee, but I sent a letter to set the records right.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. Thank you. Right.
Well, thereafter, Channels Television sought and obtained the comments of his counsel, Mike Ozekome, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, and he again spoke up on the matter.
What I see unfolding today through playing of a second edition or part 2 is like what we see in Shakespearean plays, where you say Act 1, Part 1, Scene 1, Scene 2. I would describe the entire unfolding melodrama as Baba, Salas, Alawada, Keri, histrionics, and comedy. This is nothing short of comedy. We are treating a serious national issue that involves mega money, that involves integrity, that involves morals and ethos, that involves the direction of our democratic experimentation, that involves the doctrine of separation of power between the 3 arms of government, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. A serious matter that drove out many Nigerians to demonstrate in January this year over this oil subsidy brouhaha. We are talking of a serious matter that concerns that has to do with democracy of the stomach, of the common man. And then we are reducing it to what William Shakespeare in one of his plays we call a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I believe that there is much more to hide in this matter than has come out. You all saw Mr. Farouk Lawan just now. He just left here. He made it clear, because we listened to the playback of the audio together. He made it clear that that is not my voice. That even his associates and colleagues and friends who heard that voice said, that is not your voice. Now, let us do analysis of the 2 voices. In the so-called part 1 of yesterday, Lawan was shown as a faltering, tentative, stammering, unsure speaker who was being prompted to even speak up by Mr. Femi Otedola. Let us come to Act 1, Scene 2 today, what channels call Part 2 of the melodrama. Today, the so-called Lawan's voice makes Lawan to be shown as a bellicose, belligerent, very eager and hot-headed speaker who would not even allow Femi Otedola to utter a word at all, because he appeared to have spoken throughout, barely giving Mr. Femi Otedola an inch to speak. And we are told that this is on the same telephone conversation where one person was blowing hot and cold simultaneously, maybe within 1 or 2 minutes of each other. Come on, that is not possible. Mr. Farouk Lawan says that is not possible. He affirms that that is not his voice.
Well, Mr. FESTUS KEYAMO also spoke on this matter, because in his release he has said it would not be right for those who are supposed to speak up to sit back, fold their arms and watch things unfold the way they are going. And so he speaks.
The easiest way to find your way out of this labyrinth is to look at the simple facts. What are the facts that both parties have agreed upon? And the facts are clear. There are some areas that are not gray areas. There are areas that are already cut black and white in the whole of this episode. And when you look at those agreed areas, interpret them, put an interpretation to them, everything becomes easy. One, there was communication, both face-to-face communication and telephone communication between Otedola and Farouk Lawan, representing that oil subsidy committee, probe committee. Do your investigation, do your fight together. We have convicted people. It may be slow but sure. Justice is slow but sure. Charge him to court and deal with him. And Nigerians should concentrate on asking them to resign. Go and occupy the public, go and occupy the national. By the time you occupy them for 5 days and ask that you should resign, he will resign. He should leave that place. There's a foul odor around him, a putrid smell around him now. He should not stain the others who have not been caught with it.
Well, don't forget that the House of Reps continue to speak up on this matter, but maybe along the discussion it may pop up while we go on. But Onyekachi Ubani still here with us, NBA Ikeja. Well, you've heard perspectives from both parties and perhaps even a lot more while you might have read it before now. But I haven't seen these perspectives now. What do you think?
Yeah, you see things like the absurdities playing out, you know, and then giving the lawyers the opportunity to begin to speak in favor and against. And I think, to me, that is not the proper procedure in all this. I don't believe this trial by the media is the best thing at this point in time. Farouk was invited by the police. I don't know the extent of the investigation in this matter, because I read yesterday when the police is saying that they are not against what the House is doing, the Ethics and Privileges Committee, and that they don't have enough evidence, even from what they have available at this point in time, to begin to prosecute. They don't want to waste public fund in prosecuting Farouk Lawal. And then this morning I heard the news that the federal government has been restrained from implementing the panel's report. You just put all these things together. You have a conclusion in all this. One, there was no intention whatsoever to implement Farouk Lawal's report. Two, Farouk Lawal is not innocent of all the allegations. If you take into consideration that this particular man removed Otedola's company's name from the list, and then look at this conversation that had just taken place, in where he was making, yes, of course, when you give room, as I said, lawyers will begin to speak out, because they are being paid. Even when you go to court over this matter, you see the kind of matters that will come up. I mean, the kind of argument that will come up. The issue of the source of this video will become an issue. The issue of admissibility of this particular video will be an issue. The issue of having legal expert, a forensic expert, to even interpret whether that was the voice or whether that was the picture of Farouk Lawal become an issue. I'm saying we don't need all this at this point in time. Let there be a proper investigation of what Farouk Lawal has done, or Otedola, and then let there be prosecution. Why are we being placed in the place of judges now to begin to make pronouncement and then give lawyers the opportunity to speak against and for? That is not that shouldn't be the intention at this point in time.
Anyway, we'll still be talking about it, but again,
yes.
you started by saying that well, there was no intention of prosecution or intention of adopting the recommendations of that particular report. Yes. Why did you say so?
Yeah, because as you just heard this morning that the court has restrained the federal government from implementing that report. They've been prevaricating. I'm coming, and when they do all that now, they will probably, when they lose at the High Court, they will go to Court of Appeal, and before you know it, they go to Supreme Court, and then our president will say, look, he cannot implement a report when the matter is already in court. Remember Salami's matter, where somebody was engineered to go to court when there has been a recommendation by NJC that the same president that removed him with all the court proceedings, should reinstate him, and the president is now telling you that there is existing court proceeding over this matter, so he cannot. And so with this issue of going to court now, and then the injunction now, being given against the federal government, I can assure you that this matter will get to Supreme Court. By that time, President Jonathan would have probably finished his term, and the report will never be implemented. We are being fooled by all this. Farouk Lawal is not the target. The man is not innocent, but he is not the target at this point in time, and that's why the police is telling you they will not waste public resources in prosecuting him. So the target is the report. The moment you discredit that report, that's the end of the entire scenario. And then mission accomplished. They will clap, give themselves a thumbs up in secret.
In other words, the report is credible.
To me, that report should be implemented. Whether you are saying, what do you mean by whether it's credible, who has discredited it? They are using all this in order to divert our attention. No, Nigerians are being fooled once again. And I think Nigerians at this point in time must get these things clear, that these guys are fooling us.
Let me just point this out, because some of those headlines, if they run with them at face value, might actually be misleading. That's why we like to tell people to read between the lines. Get to read the story before we make conclusions, because if you look at some of the first paragraphs pointed out here, it says, the Federal High Court Abuja Division has stopped both the House of Representatives and the federal government from acting on reports of the House of Reps Ad Hoc Committee on Petroleum Subsidy Regime as it concerns a marketer Integrated Oil and Gas Limited, pending the determination of a case filed by the company.
Fine. Other indicted companies also will go to court and get the same order.
No, but this means...
this particular person has done what he's supposed to do now.
So this cannot be a blanket. It cannot apply to the entire report.
I agree with you. What I'm saying now is that other companies also who were indicted now, we also go to court and say they were approached to give a bribe, and they were not. I mean, they didn't give that bribe. That's why their name were found in that particular report. And then also they will get a restraining order. And at the end of the day, with the total confusion, and then of course, there are some even people that are credible in this country now telling you that that particular report, Farouk Lawal report, is a product of corruption.
Who will be trying to discredit that particular report that everyone saw on live television?
Yes, even who?
Who would want to discredit?
Oh, many. I was in Sunrise where a respectable lawyer, he said that report, if he has a good lawyer, if all those indicted officials have good lawyers, they will just make a mess of it. They will say, look, we were also approached for a bribe and we didn't give, and that's why our names were found in that book, in that report. So that was the argument of that lawyer. So many people are, even are listening to a rape hour program where callers were calling and say, no, that report is a product of corruption. We cannot implement it. Nobody should, pay attention to it. So the point is that when you start hearing argument like this, then that means that at the end of the day, that report will not be implemented. And that is what I saw when I came here on television. A day after the report came, I said, watch out. That report will never be implemented. At the end of the day, Nigerians will be fooled again. And then I didn't know that they were planning all this particular Act 1, Scene 2 and all that. And you're going to see more because they have promised you the video now will come up next week on national television also. So it's the audio you are hearing. When you see the video now, then you will now conclude that report should not be implemented.
Okay, even when we get to see the video and we have heard some couple of audio and they say more to come, if we go to courts, for instance, now the police is to prosecute this case, what evidence would they be bringing before the courts?
What is the source of this particular audio? Is it coming from police? Is it
coming
from
that's assuming if this video, the way it is what will be tendered.
Yes.
So we can assume that this is what will be tendered, can't we?
Yeah, we can assume that this is what they will put in court.
No, but remember that these are several parts.
Yeah, they will now put all the entire thing. That's why I say it is important that whoever is investigating this must get a complete picture of what from the beginning. But how the conversation, who initiated? No, now the police they call up. No, they should. MTN is. Where did you get this? It's not from MTN or whosoever. Get all the entire scene. Who initiated this particular conversation in the first place? Who initiated the bribery scandal? Who was asking for what? Why was Otedola eager to give bribe? Why was his name in that particular list? His name supposed to be there, and if his name is there, why was he trying to remove it? So these are issues. You cannot have a complete picture from what you have just heard from this audio. Let there be a complete who initiated the bribery. We must know all that. So what we are seeing now is that Nigerians are being fooled by this particular. They are cutting it, cut and nail. They're not giving you a complete, so that you can now have a complete view of whatever has happened between Otedola and Farouk Lawal.
Now, the fact that, the media has to do what it has to do his job, no matter what happens.
I don't have a problem with you guys.
Yeah, talking about investigation. Because, we heard people say, even lawyers talk about what happens in the court of public opinion may not have a direct bearing to what happens in the court of law. Because even if this is out there in the public, investigation goes on. It's
affecting investigation at this point.
How?
You are diverting attention. See, the police came in and they're supposed to have a complete picture of all this. Get the audio, get the evidence. Where is the money in the first place? It's supposed to be a sting operation. Where is the money? Because you say it was a sting operation and this man was given the money. You heard it was in the house. Now it is now at the airport. Why didn't SS arrest him at that point in time?
But if they said they had told...
He himself alleged that it was money that he wanted to implicate Otedola. Why didn't he rush to Central Bank, just like Nuhu Ribadu did with Ibori's money? Yeah. Why would the money go into his house? And where is the money? Nobody has even seen the money. Can you even convict him without the material fact, the evidence of the money? The money you said that you gave to him, there is no money.
That goes back to investigation.
Investigation, where is the money? The man says, I have the money. Initially he said, I didn't receive any money. At another decision, he now said, I received money but implicate. The other one now say, I didn't receive bribe. What I received is money. You had it three versions.
I get it, but how does it affect investigation? If both parties had said they had told the police authorities 2 months ago, and then the media comes up with this 2.5 months thereafter. You
are going ahead of the investigation itself. And I think
how do we know what stage investigation is?
That's what I'm saying. We are totally being confused in all this. I thought that the police should come in, or SS, or ICPC, or EFCC, and carry a comprehensive investigation of what transpired between Otedola and Farouk Lawal, and then go to court. And don't bring this now and bring it to confuse. The lawyers now will now be speaking against and be speaking in favor. At the end of the day, you attenuate a serious matter. You are making a serious matter to look like a childish play. This is what, as you know, Mr. This man said, this is a matter that affects the destiny of Nigerians. We all came out in January to protest that what the federal government has been subsidizing is corruption and not oil. And they told us that we're all liars. They sent army against us. The House of Reps from nowhere came and said, Nigerians, relax. We are going to get at the root of the matter. We all gave them an opportunity. And then, is it what the opportunity we gave to them? They're not playing on our intelligence by all this issue of diversionary tactics and all that. We're saying they are playing with our destiny, and Nigerians should read between the lines and be wise in all this.
Can they successfully play on our intelligence without the judiciary?
Now, you have not gotten to the judiciary.
No, but
the matter has
look
not
at
gone.
This case that went to court, you said other people will go to court.
Yes, over this one. Yes, yeah,
and then
over
the subsidy report may eventually.
It's all planned action, and I said it is all planned action from the beginning. This guy sat down, wrote this script, and produced it, and now they are now airing all the script. When the diversionary story of Otedola and Farouk Lawal, the next stage now is that all the indicted officials will go to court and say, look, they were not supposed to be in that place because they were asked to give bribe. Of course, you hear that even the panel, even the investigative panel now in the House also has, police has even uncovered other money that was given to Farouk Lawal, apart from Otedola. Other indicted officials are saying that they gave money also. So at the end of the day, the main thing that you have to deal with the report. We are not dealing with it. We are not dealing with that particular report.
How can the judiciary help us?
The judiciary must come in at this point in time, if the matter gets to it, to ensure that whosoever is found, guilty must be pronounced, especially indicted officials, that you spent over 1.3 trillion in oil subsidy within a year, and up to this point in time, nobody has been indicted. Nobody has been prosecuted. And Nigerians are saying there was no supposed to be oil subsidy in the first place. That what was subsidizing was corruption and not oil. That was our attention, and that's why we went on the street in January. We have been proved right. We have been vindicated by that panel's report. But they are trying to make a mess of that now with Farouk Lawal's greed, because the man, I cannot say he's innocent of all this. If you remember that he came to the house and removed Otedola's company's name, I begin to link the entire thing that this man collected money. There's no two way about it. But the point is that shall we now leave this particular substance and begin to pursue shadow? At the end of the day, Nigerians, our effort in coming out, all the risk we took in January, it will just be a waste.